Let's freaking go. How about it, baby? It is Tennessee week, and we all have our own stories from the chaos that happened back in 2010. Now, here's what we're going to do. I decided to do a 30-minute film study on the LSU passing attack. If you want to check it out, I dropped the video at 6:30, so make sure you check it out after that. What I think LSU should do offensively is run more play action, and I shared just some simple data as to why that actually is. Now, as far as news is concerned, obviously Chris Hilton out for the year. That was kind of expected, but Garrett Dellinger, who is a former starter, missed his last game. He should be back for the big one coming up this Saturday, 11 a.m. versus Tennessee. So we're going to get to a little bit later. We got to talk about how does LSU's defense match up against the Tennessee offense that, quite frankly, has been unstoppable this year. Hendon Hooker, this is a big Heisman Trophy potential moment for him coming up on Saturday. So we're going to get to all of that, but I need some clap emojis in the chat from Branson Cat. I need it from Parker. I need it from Jacob, Mick, Hal, Skipper, Tony, Walter. We need the PHL Nation to show some love to my friend and yours, someone that was actually on the field for the legendary ending for LSU Tennessee. It is none other than former NFL offensive lineman and stand-up comedian and musician, Joseph Barksdale. Joe.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Okay, the big question. Okay, I haven't talked to this guy in years, but I know you've talked to him before as well. Is Roy Wood Jr. going to take over The Daily Show?
I don't know. I'm sorry to say it like that, but I don't know.
Now that Trevor Noah is out, I believe Roy Wood Jr. should be the host of The Daily Show.
I can't really speak on it to be a conflict of interest. Because, like he's like my comedy mentor. Like I met him when he came out here. And he's been a huge part in obviously becoming a better comedian, but actually having something to say, having substance, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That being said, I would love, you love to see the homies come up. But the good news is with Roy Wood Jr., whether he's on the show or not, he's coming up either way. Like, years get better and better for him. So you're just happy to see a comic that's doing this thing that doesn't have any like any drama. You haven't found any bodies in his basement. Like he's just, he's doing his job. He's doing it well. You can tell he cares about being a dad. I feel like I'm starting some kind of political campaign. Like vote Roy Wood. But he's just, he's an all around good dude. I have no idea. I don't have many ideas about many things, but I do think whether it happens or not, he's a monster and he's going to continue to grow regardless.
My favorite stand-up. Met him outside the Comedy Store, and he spoke to me for 30 minutes. It was cold outside, too. Gave me a bunch of game. Not only for that, but in sports and as a radio host. He has a radio background.
Yeah.
And you have a background in a lot, right? So, first thing, obviously, since it is Tennessee week, what do you remember from that legendary, chaotic 2010 Tennessee ending?
This is why I feel like LSU fans hate me. Nothing. I don't remember anything. I remember scoring a touchdown the first play of the game, and I remember just being in fucking awe. I'm sorry. Can you curse on this show?
We'll make an exception just for you. Go.
All right, cool. I won't say it anymore. I was like, we scored a touchdown for, you know how it is. You score a touchdown first play of the game. We're supposed to be running through these people like Swiss cheese. Bro, we ain't see the end zone again to the end of the game. And like for me, I think because of the autism, it's just like this doesn't make sense. If we were able to score the first play of the game, we should be able to at least get it down there before the fourth quarter. And that's honestly all I remember. Like I even remember when they had blown the whistle and we had lost, and I'm like, well, I'm go to the locker room, get ready, take my stuff off. And then we found out we won, and I was like, well, I'm going to the locker room, take my stuff off. I was never, it's weird to say this. but like I was never really into football as much as I was into like competing. So, you can't control how games go. All you can control is what you do. So I'm usually
Right.
in my own little world. I'm always in my own little world, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't understand is like, there's a lot of players where, it's not, the end of the world if you win or lose. It's not.
Oh no, I still hate losing.
Yeah,
And that's weird to say. But like maybe that was part of it with football too. I hate losing. And even if we losing as a team, I can win as an individual by doing my job well. But that was always my thought process. Come to think of it, have I ever been on any winning teams? Golly, I have not.
in the
National
NFL.
championship at LSU was the peak of my winning career. It was the peak of my winning career. 4 years in college, 8 years in the NFL. I ain't won shenanigans. I ain't
Well,
won nothing. But that's okay.
that's one more ring than Charles Barkley, one more ring than Chris Paul.
I mean, I don't see those as it's weird. Like I don't see I don't even know where my national championship ring is. I don't feel like I earned that ring.
Why?
Because I was a freshman that played maybe 3 snaps in that game. Like, come on.
Scout team matters. Backups matter. The whole teams matter. Number 78, you were a piece.
Not to me. Like to me, I was just on the team. We would have won that game whether I was on the team, or LSU would have won that game whether I was on the team or not, which significantly reduces my significance. Does that make sense?
No, I get it, but
okay.
But everybody on the team matters. Everybody's got a role, and
everybody matters to you.
But hey, whether you're starting, whether you're a backup, you all get the same ring in the end, right?
Which I don't agree with, but yeah, no, you do.
There you go. Which is why you're doing stand-up comedy, right?
No, I'm doing stand-up comedy because I quit football to do music, and then COVID happened. I stopped playing football in order to be available to do music shows, and then COVID happened, and as things started opening back up, saw comedy shows, went to a comedy show, saw a comedian that was so bad. I'm not gonna say his name just because I can't remember it right now, but you probably have heard of this dude. Black dude. He was so bad. I've been ashamed to be black twice in my life. This was one of the 2 times. Like he did so bad that I was like, all right, let me get out of here. Like,
I kind of want to guess it. I kind of want to guess it.
Okay.
I'm the way you sound. It sounds like it's a semi-famous person, or
he's affiliated with a famous person. But I'm not trying to shit on this man.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people. People don't get this. There's a lot of people that can fill an entire arena and not have 10 minutes of material.
That's true.
I've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times. That
makes sense.
But so you play at LSU, go to the NFL, and everybody wants to know, what was the NFL like?
Same thing, losing, feeling insignificant. This sense of like, extreme loneliness and not mattering, appreciate the tooth comment. I'm not brushing my teeth for nothing, but appreciate you, Nick. I'm sorry, I forgot what I was saying.
What was it like?
Oh, what was it like being in the NFL?
What was your
feeling
career
insignificant? Once again, like, like you're offensive lineman, no one really gives about you, and organization's kind of the same way, not in a bad way, but like no media attention, no interviews, no nothing, unless the quarterback gets injured, and then they want to ask y'all why y'all suck so much. But I mean, we never won games. Like I've never been on a winning team since college, so it was miserable for me. Not to mention, like, once again, I'm not trying to diss any organization, but like people will argue that I play for one of the worst quality of life organizations, if not the worst quality of life organization in the league at one point in time. Once again, I will not say who this organization is, but they did not have a kitchen in the facility. We used to have to eat food outside in a tent. Do you understand how degrading it is to be making millions of dollars and they're having to go outside and sit in a tent with fly infested food and fruit, it doesn't make sense. This is why we're losing games. But yeah, it was it's weird because like whenever people are like, oh, we want to have you on the podcast, we want to talk about, you playing at LSU and all that other kind of stuff. I always think to myself, like, they don't know what they don't know. Cause I don't know anything. Like, just like you said with the game, like, do you remember the game? I'm like, nah, I remember it. Like I told you, I remember scoring first, and that was it. But yeah, like I never really found my identity in football. Because if I did, I'd have kept playing to try to win some kind of award. But I never really found my identity in football. So.
And why do you think that is?
Games only happen once a week for a couple hours. You can't base your entire life on 3 hours.
And that's something that's interesting, like, especially like a college football player. The NFL is a little bit different because, you do travel, you do have intra-squad scrimmages in the offseason. But as a college player, it's the same thing over and over. It's the same weight room. It's the same people you work out against every single day. You don't really get to hit anybody else from the opposing, someone else different, other than 12 times during the year. College football can wear on somebody's mental health.
True. I mean, I don't disagree with that at all, especially when you start talking about like cats who are getting injured, cats who are getting to college that, are used to starting, and now, you so far down the depth chart, you got to make a phone call to get some playing time. Like it's a very, jarring experience for everyone for different reasons.
Right.
Like for me, I know people were, oh, he's the first dude from Michigan to commit to LSU and go. But like, I don't think people really understood. I was the first dude from Michigan to ever commit to LSU and go. There was nobody around that understood me, where I was coming from, where I was from. I was always teased about being where I was from, which is weird because you can't change where you're from. And I low-key started to just develop this like this anger and hostility toward my teammates for that reason. Same thing happened in the NFL. I just don't like people. Maybe I shouldn't have been playing a team or in a game to begin with. But yeah.
Yeah. And that is tough, the coming from Michigan to Louisiana, it's culture shock. It's
Actually, come to think of it, I do remember one time, I guess this was during a depressive episode because I am mentally ill and also autistic. I got on social media because I wasn't going to be able to fly home and see my family for the one time that I was able to see them in the entire year. I tweeted that going to LSU was the worst decision of my life. And I got dragged. Like, no one thought that this was just a sad kid that couldn't go home, And like, for the longest time, I've hated LSU fans for that reason. Like, these motherfuckers don't know me or understand me either. Like, I mean, for the longest time, I would run from LSU stuff. They'd invite me back, and I wouldn't want to go. I don't know. Like, I mean, LSU was. I tried to kill myself while I was at that college. I mean, I'd like to sit here and say that it was all sunshines and rainbows, but most of it fucking sucked. Between fans that can never do anything close to what you can do, talking shit like they know everything, to, verbally abusive coaches, to a physically punishing illegal practice schedule, to losses and all the other stuff, and not mattering or being of any significance and being reminded of that. I mean, you think about it, like when we were seniors, I remember when I was a senior, like Patrick Peterson's face was on the cover of our media guide. And that's kind of when it hit me, like, bro, you ain't shit and you ain't going to be shit. And you've never been shit, like it's just constantly reinforced. So I don't know. Like I loved hanging with like T-Bob, Will, the walk-ons, but I hated it there. I loved it there when I wasn't doing football. But anything football related just made me hate it there. Once again, probably not what you're trying to hear.
No,
before
I'm
Tennessee game.
interested because I remember this. Like I interviewed you at like LSU media sessions, I think like a few times, and you lived at WCA, right? Yeah. I lived there for a year.
Where I almost got arrested for having a BB gun. I wish that cop would have shot me, but that's a whole nother story.
Okay. I remember that. Actually, I vaguely remember this because one of my roommates there had a BB gun. Dang, that's nuts. Like it's kind of coming together. But I remember having one conversation with you. Maybe it was like 5-10 minutes, maybe. Because I didn't really know you that well then. I wish I would have known this now, would have hung out with you.
Everybody says that. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to hang out anyway. Like, people are always like, "Oh, I wish I would have known." And I'm like, you realize, like, not you, but I'm saying, like, you realize we don't talk. So even if you would have known, there's nothing that would have changed. You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way. Like, I just don't want people feeling like, "Oh, I wish." Like, if I did kill myself, I wouldn't want people that, if I was successful, I wouldn't want people at LSU to be like, "Oh, I wish I'd have done something," or wherever I am. Because the reality is, some people can't do nothing. You know, people can tell you that all they want till they blue in the face. "Oh, I love you. I care about you. You're important." I don't even know you. Not you, but I'm just saying people in general, like on social media and stuff. It's like you take a step back and it's like you don't even know me. You know? Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it, man. I went to LSU. I wasn't. I was kind of by myself too. I was an out-of-state student, so.
Oh, we at the same time. No, I'm just like, same thing. Showing up, nobody to talk to, losing. It's a vicious cycle. No, I'm just playing. Where are you from?
I'm from Baton Rouge originally, but I went to high school in Arkansas.
Okay, how'd you get out to Arkansas?
How'd I get up to there? My dad started a business there, and that's it. He's actually back in Baton Rouge for this game.
Nice. Shout out to your dad. I hope he's not listening to this.
No,
probably somewhere with his beer and cookout food. Like, oof. Let me just go to sleep. Like, this is. Are these all the interviews like this? You know,
I'm having a great time.
No, I am too. I observe people a lot, and I can see like the pain look in LSU fans' faces when they find out like how miserable I was while I was there, but I was.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I built this channel on authenticity and speaking from the heart, man.
Yeah. And that's why I'm happy to be here. That's pretty much what I do in my life.
That's
what with the comedy and so forth.
Well, that's the thing. People don't understand if you go on stage and you're not being yourself, they know it immediately. Immediately. It's unlike anything else, man. There's nothing like that feeling. Lucky enough, I haven't been in that spot. I've always done material I felt like that I liked, but there's no better feeling, man, of making a room full of people laugh. Nothing like it.
That's true.
It's better than any drug, better than anything. Yeah, I used to think when I played, I was bad at baseball, but AAU baseball, when you hit a ball flush on the barrel, I used to think that was one of the best feelings. But making a room, Joseph, I'm telling you, nothing better than hitting that. Nothing better than, especially a new joke working.
Yeah, comedy is the only thing I would do for free ever in my life. I realized, like, when I thought back to the combine and stuff, I feel about comedy the way that I was supposed to feel about football. I play it for free. I love it. It is, a way for me to express myself. I mean, as long as the rooms kept growing, I'd do it for free. It seems to be the only time that people really listen to me and like just sit back and, even understand what I'm trying to say. So it gets pretty addictive from that standpoint too, because it's hard to communicate with people when you don't understand yourself or your emotions or other people and their emotions. So for me, I don't feel like a mistake when I'm doing comedy, which means I need to be doing more comedy. No, but yeah, I don't feel like a mistake.
Sweetwater in Atlanta. There you go, man.
And the Laughing Skull.
And the Laughing Skull in Atlanta. Look at that, man. So for those that don't know, that's how you and I got connected.
Mm-hmm.
You were looking for some help with some contacts in Atlanta. We're able to make something happen. So really excited about that. Really excited about your new career path. I wanted
I
to,
appreciate it.
yeah, man. Everybody knows that former players are always welcome on my channel.
I always just assume. I ain't gonna lie. I thought even on this one, like I was gonna get on here and people just gonna be like, "Fuck this dude. Who brought him on the show? This is terrible. Downvote. But yeah,
That's fine, man. I'm open to hear any player's story. So here you are, today's show, diagnosed with autism at 30, former NFL star, finally finds answers, doing comedy and music. Jordan says he's a musician, yeah?
Yeah, I do music. Right now it's mostly production.
Right. And what kind of music for people that aren't familiar?
The music I do solo is called electric soul. The stuff that I produce is a wide range of stuff. I'm actually dropping, or an artist that I produced the entire album for is actually dropping music. It's October, right? Yeah, next month. So I'm excited about that. It's a what 13 song album,
right?
But yeah, that's pretty much the things that I do these days. I can do alone efficiently. Production, comedy writing, creative writing in terms of like books. I'm in the process of writing books. But yeah, those three things you can do alone. So those are what I'm spending all of my time. I mean, along with, being with my family and being a regular human, whatever that means. But yeah.
It can mean a lot of things, including spending time with the kiddos. And we do a thing all the time here on PHL. I'm not a super dad, but you're a super dad. We have a bunch of super dads here at PHL. You had a funny story about your daughter picking the right song, right?
Oh yeah, I was playing some music for my daughter on the way to school today. And she's like, "Daddy, I don't like this song. Can we go to the next song?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, sweetie. Can go to the next song." "Daddy, I don't like this song either. Can we go to the next one?" "Yeah, okay, that's all right. I'm go to the next song." "Daddy, this is not good. What is this?" And I'm like, "It's my album. It is my new album that just came out in July. I'm about to jump off the bridge." But I mean, it is what it is. She's 4. If I'll be honest with you, like, I'm critical on my music too. There's so much time in between like me writing the song to the song actually being recorded and released on an album that by the time it is released, I hate it because I've already gotten so much better and I have so many other things that I'm trying to do now. And here I am still, releasing stuff that came out. I mean, that I wrote in 2020, so that's very frustrating for me.
I can't watch my old videos. I can't watch whether it's comedy, whether it's this. It's the same thing.
Oh, that's easy.
I can't watch old stuff. It just makes me cringe. I'm like, God, I'm so much better now.
Oh no, I still watch it and listen to it and I learn from it. It just makes me angry. Like maybe frustrated is a better word. Some kind of mixture of frustration, disappointment, and hopelessness. Because if that's the way that it goes now, what's gonna change? This is the album process, is it not? So that's another thing I love about producing. I can do it on my time. Yeah,
that's great. For me, you mentioned what you said about LSU and then in the NFL, play for the Raiders, Chargers, a few other stops, Rams. Do you watch football? Do you miss it at all?
I never watched football. I didn't know what football was when I first started playing. I got kicked out of engineering camp when I was like 16. I needed something to do over the summer to stay out of trouble. Remember the Titans had come out around then, and I'm like, maybe I can get in shape playing football, and that's how I started playing football.
Left side, baby.
Aside from the pay, the NFL was a worse experience. The pay is the only thing that made it a better experience. Like I said, I was with some. That's for Jordan, her dad. He asked that question. I was with some. In my mind, the pinnacle of my career was the time that I spent in St. Louis. I was with like a first-class organization in my mind. I actually felt like a human being, but that only lasted for 3 years. But outside of that, No, it was a lot. It was just as bad. Kids are soul crushers sometimes, but it is what it is, man. I'd rather my kid be, honest with me than like, yeah, dad, this sucks,
Well,
And
that's
she's like 4, so I mean, she's looking for like the high pitched pop songs,
yeah.
Yeah. So only time they want to hear me is when you're reading a story at night. Oh, your voice is so deep, but yeah.
There you go, man. You see, everyone. I told you everybody likes honesty on here. Like if I see something that's not great, I'll say it, and that's how I've built this thing, and that's how you're building your comedy career, Joe.
No, I can dig it. Thank you, Frank. No, I can dig it. I mean, like I said, I'm afraid of people because I don't understand people. So
I don't think anybody really understands people,
that's true.
so you're not alone in that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hmm.
For me, I think we've all had someone that we know that's battled with mental health, and you
Hmm.
talk about that some on stage. That's it's just so interesting, right? You play this very violent sport. And you mentioned you only play a few games a year. It could be really, really hard. I mean, there's just no other way around it.
Yeah, I was told before that the only time football was fun is when you win. You do all that stuff, all that work to win at the end of the week, beginning of the week, however you look at it. Continuing to lose makes you feel like you have no purpose. You know what I mean? Because like if I can't do what I'm supposed to, if I can't do what I'm supposed to do, what am I doing here? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if I can't do what I'm supposed to do, what am I doing here? I mean, that's simple, the simplest version of it.
I think there's a lot of players that go through that, right? You're playing football and you can't. It's either you're not getting playing time or you're just not enjoying it anymore. You're burnt out. That
Maybe
happens in
you had
every
a
sport.
bad childhood. Like I had a teammate whose dad beat him with the buckle end of a belt for striking out of the T-ball game. Now, first of all, how'd you strike out of the T-ball game? I thought you could get as many swings as you wanted. But the worst part is just like beat him with the buckle end of a belt. I mean, these people, I don't think you just wake up in the morning and become a football player, not like a professional football player. I think that there needs to be something that separates you from people in society. You need to have this like almost serial killer-esque rage inside of you that allows you, that permeates through physical play and, adrenaline and that kind of thing. Um, what was I saying that to say? So I'm saying that to say everybody that plays football, for the most part, is dealing with something. Like I remember I even had a couple old teammates on my podcast, and cats talking about not having fathers and looking to coaches for as father figures, and you got these imperfect coaches that usually mess that up. But a bunch of different little nuanced things that are going on with everybody. There's probably somebody with a kid that doesn't have a job yet. What I mean? You playing and you getting college money, but you don't have a job. You got cats who got their whole family dependent on them. I'm the first kid that, not me, but like they're the first kid to ever
Yeah,
step on
yeah,
a
yeah.
college campus. You know, but I think that people come to college with the issues, and for the most part, they retire from the NFL with the issues, unless they seek help. That's why you see all these not wild, but just different incidents with players after they're done. If you don't find a way to process these things, they're gonna come out, and usually they come out in bad decisions.
I think one thing that's helped though is now you get to express yourselves. You whether it's comedy, music, you could some players start their own shows themselves, like what I'm doing here,
Yeah.
and it's given us a different perspective on a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, that's supposed to be like the beauty of relationships. People see the same life from different angles, so you can get a better view, the more relationships you have. So yeah, I dig that.
You're an animal lover like Skipper, and almost everybody here has a dog.
Yeah, I got a Doberman named Aria. She is the sweetest little girl. She's blue.
Blue.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our own little channel on our Patreon where it's just dog photos or just
Oh,
pet
nice.
photos. And that's all. If I'm having a downtime, I know someone's going to post a photo of their dog, and it's going to make me feel great.
Better. Yeah, better.
So that's great, man. A few more for you.
Oh yeah.
You know what's interesting? I enjoy conversations like this.
Mhm.
I enjoy
I'm
getting
not walking away. I'm just turning the fan on, but I can hear you.
No, that's fine, man. It is interesting. Once again, like, subscribe. Let me put your Twitter up here so people can go follow you. Yeah, I know you said this a bunch of times. You're like, oh my god, I don't think anybody's liking this interview, but
No. I said that I anticipated a bunch of angry LSU fans coming and crapping on me during this interview. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. And see, that's the thing about autism. Sometimes, like, you're trying to say one thing, it comes across differently. And, like, even right now, I'm like, okay, where was the breakdown in that? That kind of thing. Anyone, including T-Bob, you mentioned that was solid. Will Blackwell. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Will and T-Bob. I don't, like I said, I never really felt like I had a relationship with, like, my teammates, but I did always feel like T-Bob and Will, like, at least cared about me as a person, And there were other people too, but yeah. Shout out to T-Bob and Will. They actually came to my first comedy show in Louisiana. It was in Baton Rouge last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I know T-Bob well. We used to do a show together, and I know Will fairly well. And we've done some radio in the past together. And now, look at you, man.
Yeah, those are really, really good dudes, and it's cool to see them, like, have families and be dads, and do the things that we all talked about wanting to do when we were younger. Being the best you for your wife and kids, or trying to build a community or influence a community in a positive way. It's fantastic.
There you go, man. Follow him on Twitter at JBDale72. Talked a little bit, if you're just joining us, we are getting some new viewers here. Talked a little bit of everything. Talked about the 2010 Tennessee ending. Talked about playing at LSU. Talked about playing in the NFL. Talked some comedy. Talked some Roy Wood Jr.
And that was in 2010? God.
You're old, man.
No, I'm just saying, like, I thought, for whatever reason, I'm thinking in my mind, it's like, this got to be like 2007, 2008. But, like, I left. Was it that year? I left that year. Golly. See what I mean? It's depressing. It's the more you look into it, the sadder it gets. But it's okay.
The Master Blaster showing some love. We appreciate you, Barksdale. There you go.
Appreciate you, Tony.
Yeah. He has his own thing. He's known as the Master Blaster.
I'd rather be Master Blaster than Master something else. So that's cool.
Jared with the super chat here. And so before we let you go, man, is there anything else before we talk a little bit about where people could find your comedy and all of that? Is there anything else you would like Tiger Nation to know about you and your time at LSU, your time in the NFL?
I think I say it about everybody that's played, that's come before me, that's going to come after me. These are people first. They have things that they deal with. And all of us have that child that in some way has a bump or bruise that never healed inside of us. These people are no different. They have people that they love, people that love them. And they're going through a lot. Don't make it harder by, passing judgment online, tweeting these people. Because like you said earlier, if I had killed myself after you know, the whole like going to LSU was the worst decision of my life. Then everybody's like, oh, well, you know, I mean, it's one of two things they saying. Either people are sad or now they saying, can't take criticism. I hope he can make it to his funeral. My man can't see nothing through. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that was a dark joke. But that one was for me. But yeah, I mean, you know, the more you learn about therapy and, you know, the more integral you realize that your childhood is to who you are today. And there's a lot of things that, you know, people sweep away, push down, try not to think about, but these things need to be processed in order to grow.
Right.
But I'm saying that to say you got a bunch of young boys who are, these are not men. I know they look like men. I know they're bigger than a lot of y'all men will ever be. These are still, in the bigger scheme of things, these are children. You know, if one of them got abducted, you say he got kidnapped, not a man is disappeared. You know what I mean? And just, you know, not, and I don't know. I hate saying like be nice to people. The whole saying like be nice to people. You never know what anyone's going to. You can't guilt trip me into being a nice person. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess what I would say is just, you know, be the person that you would want somebody to be if you were in that position, whatever that position is. Like if you see a bank teller or whatever, and you working. I mean, I'm sorry, if you see a bank teller and you're in line, maybe things are going a little slow. You finally get up there, you cussing out the bank teller that has nothing to do with this, you know? So my thing would be just put yourself in put yourself in the other people's shoes before you just, you know, act emotionally. There's too much emotional response going on these days. People used to be more calculated and thoughtful. I mean, we've had to change definitions in the dictionary, like literally. But anyway, they're kids.
Do we beat Tennessee on Saturday?
Man, I don't even know. I can't, like, me saying that right now would be like me putting money on a roulette with, like, that's I feel like I know actually from the statistics what's gonna happen with the roulette table more than I would know that. What's the record?
We're 4-1.
How do you like the head coach?
I was gonna ask you that, but
I don't watch football.
Yeah,
so
you don't watch football.
How do you like him? I pray for him. I know he's coaching at LSU now. But yeah, I can't speak on it. I don't watch football.
Aww. That's Z baby right there.
Look at the tiny baby.
Look at that. Yeah, we're big dog channel. So before you're worried about the dogs barking and all that, but like I told you, I knew I had to get Z in here just to say hi to you.
He's so cute.
But yeah, yeah. Now, before we do let you go, we want people to go check out. Once again, I think the best way for people to get in touch with you and do all the music stuff is JBDale72. I'll put it up here again.
Mm-hmm. And y'all can really just look for comedy if y'all want. My daughter already told me that I should chill on the music.
Yeah, that when I read that earlier, I laughed so hard.
Wow, going to do all this work, like, Daddy. There it is, right there. Daddy, I can't tell you how many people called me and were like, "Oh my God, it was so funny. I wanted to like it, but I didn't want anybody to think like." I'm like, ain't nobody looking through my likes like, oh, you know, Susan 57 needs to get her shit together. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, like a lot of people called me about that and was just talking about how funny it was.
JBDale72.
And see, that's something comedy's done for me. That would have hurt my feelings. Like, if she had said that in 2020,
oh man,
I may be in jail. Like, yeah, he just tossed the kid out the window and kept driving. Like, it's crazy. But but you know, as you grow and, you know, I would say the therapy's been a big part of that too. I mean, it's all, the whole system has been a big part of that, and it's something that I'm gonna, you know, continue to do. But yeah, I just know that happened a couple years ago. Joe Barksdale arrested for child abuse. Like, I'd have been like, oh, you know. Not for real. Like, I would not have like beat up my kid. Well, of course. But y'all know what I'm saying. I would have been in the front seat crying. Like, it would have hurt my feelings to the point.
Of course.
Like, Daddy, what's wrong? It's just a sad song. You know. But yeah.
I love it.
And speaking of that, I'm a huge proponent of therapy. I do think it should be more accessible to everyone. But you know, if you can, at least try it out. I'm not sitting here saying the first therapist you go to is going to be, Jesus incarnate, but it's a step. I've been through like 10 therapists. One of my therapists actually caused me to not be able to sign an extension with the team I was playing for when it was time for me to discuss a contract negotiation, because it was a therapist I was provided to the team, and apparently he had been telling everybody on the team what I had been telling him.
What?
Yeah. So, but that being said, don't take the company therapist. Go find go get an unrelated third party therapist.
What?
But yeah,
there wasn't any like confidentiality with that, or did you think that they were like the therapist wasn't going to share that with the?
One or two things happen. Either because what I'm thinking is like my man who was doing the therapy, he was not like you watch BoJack Horseman?
I've seen it before. Yes, I've not watched. No.
Okay, well, there's an episode. There's a dude. This is like the last season. His name's Dr. Champ, and he's like a horse therapist. And so, someone comes and they're like, "Listen, I want to ask you some questions about BoJack, but before I can, I know you were his therapist." He said, "No, sorry." He didn't say horse therapy. He said, "I'm a therapy horse." He's like, "No, I'm a therapy horse. I am not a therapist. I can tell you everything." So I'm thinking either that happened. I'm thinking that's what happened. Either that or my agent just lied the entire time. It doesn't matter. They got fired after that anyway. But yeah.
Joseph Barksdale, thank you so much. Once again, got a bunch of shows coming up in Atlanta. If you're in Atlanta.
But by a bunch, he really means just two. Like I'll be there next week, Thursday, and I fly out on the red eye in the morning.
But here's the thing. You never know what can happen. You could do a show, somebody be there. That could change your life.
Bro, this ain't the movies. But I hear you.
It's not. That's how it works in comedy.
Is that the ghost of Richard Pryor in the back? Like, like wow, must have been a good. Or like Chris Rock comes up at the end, and I'll just be like, "Hey, brother, it's nice to meet you. I gotta go to the Latin School."
You never know. You honestly never know. How long you been doing it? A year and a half? You said a year and a half, right?
Year and a half.
All it takes
to those of y'all who are listening, though, I mean, I've booked legitimate shows off my film, so I sound like I've been doing it a lot longer. Because you don't want to be like a year and a half, and it's like, oh, people just booking him because he played football. Because that's not the case.
No, I saw you sent me.
Oh yeah, I sent you some tape. Yeah,
I watched it. It was good. I booked shows. I was like, okay, I'd book them.
See?
I would not have sent the video and recommended the booker if I did not think you were funny.
That's
because then
can you say that again? Because I was trying to explain this to my wife the other day. Like, you're happy that you got the shows, but you're even happier that someone saw what you did and was like, oh yeah. I can sign off on this. I told her, I was like, to me, that's more special than the show. Because, as a comedian at a certain point in time, I mean, not to sound arrogant, but like, like when you realize what you're good at and who you are, killing is easy. It's being able to get on stage enough times to become a killer that's hard. And you can't make any bad steps. Because if you send somebody some film with you bombing, you ain't getting no. You know what I mean? Like, it's
the 5-minute tape. The 5-minute tape is everything. So
it's everything.
The way it worked was someone on Twitter tagged me in a tweet that said, "Hey, I'm looking for shows in Atlanta." So I sent you a DM and I was like, "Hey, I could help you out. I know a few bookers from when I used to do some shows in Atlanta." So I wasn't just because you're an LSU player going to tell my friends to book you. I was like, "Okay, send me a clip." And I looked at it and I legitimately thought it was funny. Now there are a lot of celebrities and people that
T.I.
Obviously everybody's sick of T.I. of this. So T.I. is obviously someone, but for those that don't know, he just goes on stage because he's T.I. and obviously he's going to sell out everywhere because he's an A-lister. But he's not funny.
And they're thinking that he's going to do rap, which he usually does at the end. To say like, hey, I had a standing ovation. No one was laughing for the last 55 minutes. Like, but I will say this, like when I did a show in New York recently, there were like 450 people in the audience. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'd be really nervous if I hadn't gone through like, I don't know, comedy's weird. Like you got to go through it the way everybody else did in terms of like, doing open mics that no one's attending and like trying to find
Yeah.
yourself on stage, trying to figure out what your voice is, that kind of stuff. And that I feel like that kind of stuff comes along with the humbling yourself. And because I mean, shit, like this time last year, you know, or even earlier than last year, I'm sitting in a room full of 21-year-olds doing open mics, and we all just looking at each other, waiting for our turn to get on stage, you know. And you when you're doing it, and this low-key could be an inspirational message. When you're doing it, it feels very insignificant. You feel like you're wasting your time. You start to get frustrated. You start to get angry. But I can say from experience, those are the same things that will make you great if you let them over time.
Yeah. I've done the open mic thing. It could be brutal. It could be degrading.
But you got to do it. Like it's
gotta get up, man.
But these A-list celebrities are proof. Because I'm thinking about like if I had gotten on stage when I wanted to get on stage, it wouldn't have been good. Like it just would have been bad. Like you know, some of these things take time, and you got to. I mean, that'd be like if Elon Musk was like, "Hey, I threw a football to my son last night. I can go start for LSU." Like, no, no.
I love
my homeboys think I'm fun. That's the worst as a comedian. I'm sure you've heard that. Well, you know, how'd you get into this? Oh, you know, my homeboy said I'm funny. Oh, okay. How long you been doing this? About 10, 12 years. Okay. First of all, why don't you know exactly? Second of all, why didn't you get a single laugh in the 5 minutes you were up there? Go home and never come back. Like, it'll be some dude that gets there, I mean, just does terrible. And you're like, oh, let me go encourage this man. He's probably just started. Oh, no, I've been doing this for 10 years. And I'm the one that's depressed? Like, you've been doing this for 10 years, you that bad, and you just, I ain't gonna lie to you, that's when mental illness hits the worst. When you see people like that, like people who should obviously be ashamed, but they just like, no, I'm cool with who I am. This is not gonna affect me as a person in any way. And it's like, some people have all the luck.
I'll say this, like the Sinbads and Eddie Murphys that are just so good, like so young, it's just crazy. And I mean, those stories of transcendency are few and far between. It does take a lot of work. And look, you know, I've been doing it 5+ years. Obviously, I've been out of it for, you know, pre-pandemic. And I just did my first show not too long ago.
How'd that go?
It went great.
How much time?
How much time? I did 15.
Nice. Anybody heckle you?
No, but like I hosted the show. So the show was like people. So like it wasn't, it doesn't count because it's not, it's not like an actual.
Did people show up who didn't know who you were?
Some.
Did they laugh?
Yeah,
it counts.
But it's not good. I did it 5 years. Got to where I had like a 30-minute set, and I was doing a bunch of like these brewery shows.
Why'd you stop?
I just wasn't great. I knew I was better. I knew I was better at this.
I'll tell you this: there's been some comedians that have come through here that aren't great, but they can network their ass off, and they still.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy how that.
Actually,
works.
I'm not even gonna say not great. These are bad comedians.
No, a lot. There's a lot that network really well, and they're nice, and they're a good hang. And everyone says, "Hey, book this person," and no laughs in 15 minutes. No. And now I'm looking bad because it's my show. Right.
That's how I realized Ian from what's his call believed him. He gave me 20 minutes at the Laugh Factory.
Who?
What's the name of the club in Atlanta?
Laughing Skull.
Laughing Skull. He gave me 20 minutes.
20 at the Skull?
20 minutes.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's what I said. I screamed into the phone when I got the message.
20 at the Skull.
Like, let's go. So the show at the brewery is the same time as the show at the Skull. So I'm gonna go early at the brewery and then probably last.
Oh, do you get a warm-up set?
Yeah, about to
get a warm-up set.
I mean, technically, nah. It's like because the place that Joe was telling me about was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be a couple hundred people in there. You know. Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, Joe Pettis runs a good show. But that's why, like, when you sent me the stuff, I was like, okay, because you know I was a fan of yours as a player. I'm a fan of every player. Right, it's my full-time job, you know, doing LSU football.
Yeah, so I'm telling you this and everybody else. Don't waste your time being a fan of me. But please continue.
Everybody, because I didn't know you well, like I knew some of the other players. But anybody that's played football at LSU, especially during that era when I was there, I always cheer for them. and I'm always going to root for you. So when someone tagged me in the tweet, I was like, I've had other former players ask me about different stuff and get on the phone with them. So it's not like too irregular of a circumstance. But
So
when
what
you
if
said
I was bad?
I
Like
would have
someone tags you. I'm listening.
well, if you were bad, I would have not recommended you to one of the best coaches in Atlanta. I
You
would
would
have
just hit me with the
like,
"I'll see what I can do" text.
you know what I would have done? I would have been like, the worst thing is when you send someone a clip. And lucky this did not happen to me, because it is bad though. The worst thing is you could send someone a clip and then someone send you the Facebook Google Doc link. So here are all the open mics that you can here.
That would crush me. Like, I'm trying to get ready for a special. You need to get ready for a regular showcase, brother.
Yeah. It's hosted at the Chuckle Hut by Tungsten Arm O'Dowd, and it's a bucket list thing. But no, like, look,
that's hilarious. They hit you back with local mics.
Dude, it's you don't understand. Like, when I started booking a lot of shows and started to get decent at it, I was getting a lot of people sending me clips. They're like, "Hey, I'll be passing through. Can you do my show?" And
what was the percentage you would say that you had to turn down versus like,
a lot. Once people know you as a booker, you will get.
Oh yeah, you get inundated.
Yeah, you get filled with people sending you clips, and it's hard, man. It's really hard to get good at this. Like, the people that are truly transcendent on a microphone. Someone mentioned like Red Fox. Now that's like God tier, but like,
who do you think? Who's your favorite comedian of all time?
Burr.
Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr.
Well, Roy Wood Jr., Bill Burr.
So Roy Wood Jr. is your favorite comedian of all time?
He's in my top 10, but like, like,
give me the 5.
My 5. Okay. Okay. Here's what I'll do.
I'll give you my 5 in order.
Okay. All right. You go first. I'll let you go first. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say all that, but okay.
No. Okay, I'll go first.
No. I can do it. Roy Wood Jr.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me start over. Richard Pryor, then Roy Wood Jr., then Bill Burr, then I'm gonna say Dick Gregory. That's a deep cut.
Yeah,
and who was the other one? It's weird because like I want to say Dave Chappelle, but these have been like speeches recently, and it's been like I paid to go see him when he came to Austin, and I just remember leaving so sad. Like,
it wasn't material. It wasn't funny. It was
I was like, I feel like I just sat through history class, and then at the end we talked about a transsexual woman. Like, it was weird.
Pepitone's good. Jordan's a big Eddie Pepitone fan.
Nice.
Pepitone's actually just a murderer on stage. Like, it's different, and I know you're only a year and a half in, so you probably don't know like a whole lot about. I mean, I'm pretty sure you do because you've been in music. There's a difference between someone like Chappelle, who's gotten big on TV, and he's still a killer on stage when he wants to be. But there's also a difference between someone like Eddie Pepitone, who's just a killer on stage. Like,
he's gonna show up and murder.
Yeah, like he and those are oftentimes your best comedians. That's why Bill Burr's remained so good on stage, because he's had efforts for Family and all these other shows, but stand-up is still like the main thing
Yeah, you can tell he cares. Yeah, like you can tell he even with all that, like you said, all the acting and all the other stuff he got going on, you can tell he still cares about stand-up. Chris Rock is gonna be number 5.
I like it. You wanna know what's funny?
What's that?
I lost.
John Mulaney is really close in that. Like, I love John Mulaney. He's such a good storyteller. I'm sorry.
No, Mulaney's up there. So you know what's funny? There was someone for PHL that wanted me to sign their Power Hour LSU shirt. And I know you've signed stuff before. So I've never signed anything.
Oh, the only thing I've signed are like restraining orders, court documents, child support. I'm just
Hey. But hey, what's up, Grant? Good to see you, man. So
thanks, Grant.
Yeah. So here I signed a shirt but I made the first letter too big. And John Mulaney's best bit of all time is the sign bit, where he's like, we've all I'm not gonna do the bit because you just got to go do it. But I signed the first letter too big, and whenever we've made a sign, we've always made that first letter too big. And Mulaney's joke writing is just so freaking good. He's so good at stand up.
I mean, that's the quality between all of them. They know who they are. They do a good job of like, not getting you on their side, but just explaining to you what they think, how they feel, and they do it at a high level.
The best stand-up set I've ever seen. Tight laughter, like laugh per minute, all the whatever, is Michelle Wolf at the Comedy Cellar. When she was getting ready to film her special, I got to see her in New York City in a packed room. Obviously, the Cellar's always packed. And that was the best 15 minutes of live comedy I've ever seen.
So far.
It was the best. It was the best. She led her special with what she led the set with. And it was about otter rape.
Yeah. No, Michelle Wolf is super nice.
That was probably the best 15-minute live comedy set. So,
Do you know Lace?
Lace who?
That was just on America's Got Talent. I don't want to kill the last name. I'm not going to even disrespect her by saying her last name wrong. Starts with an L.
Lace LaRob or something.
See, I was going to say Larrabee. Yes, Lace LaRob.
Yeah, she's an Atlanta comic. Yeah,
with that Louisiana name. No,
yeah.
LaRob. What was happening, boy? They called me LaRob. Okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, she. It's funny because I reached out to her too, and I was just like I said, when you and her saw the film and we're like, yeah, for this, it's like we made it. Not like we made it, but like this is. What did they say? The praise of the praiseworthy is above all rewards. So, and I mean, that's one of the things I want to be. Like, I want to be funny and I want to be great, but I also want to be a comic too. Like, I want other comedians. Yeah, actually, I don't give a fuck what other comedians think about my comedy. If people laughing, that's all that matters. But I do think other comedians will like my comedy.
Yeah, and that's like a big difference. Like obviously, Roy Wood is definitely in my top 5. He's firmly in there, right?
Hey, don't get cocky, Roy.
Don't. We led the show with you, man. Titanic bit, Civil Rights Museum bit. I mean, everything.
He's the reason I don't write political material.
Dude,
he says everything I want to say.
It's so good.
Him and Michael Che. Shout out to Michael Che.
Che, I've seen Che live. He's good, man.
He is.
So yeah, now obviously Chappelle, Rock. I just saw Kevin Hart do an hour, and it was phenomenal.
I was about to say, I heard he's been taking the country by storm, whatever that means. But I heard he's been doing really well, like on this hour that he's working on.
I thought it was going to be because like Kevin is not like somebody that is like one of my favorites, but he's one of those guys you kind of want to see do an arena.
Yeah,
and
because he's shown the ability to be good, like
Yeah.
Clearly.
So what was interesting was like a lot of these famous people, they don't tighten. Like they're so famous that they know they're going to fill the building and they could just jack around and do bad crowd work for, like half of it and bring people on. It was an hour of straight material. And I respected the hell out of him because I won't name names here, but there's a lot of people that are famous that just go on stage. They know they fill the arena and they could just do crappy crowd work for an hour.
Yeah.
And,
or, give you a speech. That depresses you.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I wanted to see you make me laugh. That's how I became.
Yeah, like, are you running for president? Like, what's coming at the end of this? Like, I don't know, but I know. Yeah, Seinfeld is funny. He's also on the spectrum, like me.
Jerry's a beast.
He's autistic.
But like, there's also some comics that are like very like Kevin Hart, like Sebastian, and like Brian Regan, who do this material that's not about anything, and they're just funny. And
it's weird because I see like I see all three of those people's material differently. Like I see it, it's about like Brian Regan, for example. I remember the first time I saw him doing comedy. Within the first 5 minutes, I looked at my wife. I'm like, this is a very angry man. Like, it's all fun, and we cracking jokes, we clean. This is an angry man. Because if you listen to what he's talking about, he's pretty much saying, here's what pisses me off about this. Here's what doesn't make sense about this. But I like it because like that's who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like I would say I would watch him and not be like, oh, that was, I didn't learn anything. I mean, I learned about him, which was cool.
Yeah. I just love how he does such a great job of always making himself the butt of the joke. And it's just so goofy. It's so unique to him. He's got a very just unique voice and style where if you listen to him, it's so hard to be that.
I mean,
way.
all the greats do. Like when you think about it, like, you mastered your own style.
Yeah, and
you got to be funny.
But what's funny was I actually lost some viewers, some PHL viewers on my live stream on Saturday night because a lot of people missed the LSU game to go see Rock in New Orleans.
What is that?
Chris Rock.
Chris. I was like, what is Rock in New Orleans? Okay.
Oh yeah. So Chris headline, and there's a lot of Chris Rock fans on here. I remember when he slapped Will Smith. I was live on here.
Well, Will Smith slapped him.
Well, Will Smith slapped him. Excuse me. And everybody, I remember Chris English is in here right now. He's like, "Hey Carter, one of your favorite comics just had the life slapped out of him," and I was like, "What? What just happened?"
I've never seen like punch me. Like, don't walk all the way up the stage and ruin your career just to slap somebody. Carlin was definitely an angry man, but he was funny. I used to love him, but now I can't make it through his material. That's real. I understand that.
The last quarter of the Auburn game was indeed high comedy.
Is he talking about this past game or when we were playing? Okay.
The 07 game, the 07 game as well.
There's just been times I've been walking off the field like, what is going on? I don't know if I need to go back to church. This is not what I thought I was committing to. I remember we lost to Penn State, and I was like, oh my God.
Penn State.
We can't beat Penn State.
Penn State.
I was so hurt. No, I mean, not for real, but just like, dog, can we win a game? I'm tired of losing.
And it rained like crazy, too.
And it rained like crazy. David Tell is also very funny. You know who else is funny? Trevor Noah. That's why he's leaving the Daily Show to focus on stand-up.
And Dua Lipa.
What's a Lipa?
Saying Dua Lipa.
Oh, that is the second time I've misunderstood. What's a Lipa? Dua Lipa.
I totally get it. I totally get you, Trevor.
But yeah, that's
Van Bark, bro. I'll hit you with the one-arm bull rush. I can get to the QB.
You definitely can right now, Jay. Somebody was talking to me about that. Like, someone just said, like, oh, let's line up, and I'm like, no, you win. Like that's what you want, right? Like you win. I'm not about to waste my time getting in the stance because that's when people get hurt. Like just like at the flag football games. Like, bro, sit down.
Another good Atlanta-based comedian that I love a lot. She lives in New York. I did a show with her in New York. Mia Jackson.
Shout out to Mia Jackson.
Have you ever met Mia Jackson?
I haven't met many people.
Oh, dude, Mia is a killer. Love me some Mia Jackson.
Nice.
I think she's gotten a Comedy Central 30-minute.
Oh, cool.
And she's very underrated.
No, she's not. She got 30 minutes on Comedy Central. Somebody thinks something of her.
But
everybody ain't got 30 on Comedy Central.
Like she's probably my favorite comedian that's not like big. But like she headlines clubs and all of that.
Yeah, it's like she's still getting there.
There's like people like Kev on Stage and Tony Baker that like a lot of these guys that
sounds so familiar.
Oh man, he's funnier online, but apparently he
is that the one that dances?
No, he's got his own network. And
I know Tony. I know who Tony Baker is.
Tony Baker's a beast. Tony's good on stage and social media. That's what I like about Kev on Stage. So
Kevin Fredericks.
Yeah,
he looks familiar.
He just lost his brother like 2 weeks ago, who like did a bunch of stuff with them. So I hated that for him.
Yeah, that's hard, bro.
Yeah, but Kev said he's still going to do his tour, and it's obviously great. But like, there's a lot
because
like,
you gotta. I mean, you gotta do something. You can't sit at home.
you can't, yeah, because
You know?
everybody's like, "Hey, are you canceling?" But like 85 South show, I just think it's cool now in comedy. You can just kind of make your own thing. You can build your own fan base
Like
now.
Andrew Schultz,
man. Schultz is
because I don't think he's ever been on Comedy Central, HBO, none of that. But that man's special show got 1 million views in what, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Hey, shout out to Andrew Schultz, bro. He's inspiration. He's like young Dolph. Like when you see someone that does it independently and succeeds, it's like, okay, this is possible. Let's go.
Lavelle Crawford, Bruce. There's 2 cuts for you right there.
I mean, are you
Lavelle? Yes. Bruce is okay. Like
I feel like they're the same. It's just fat dudes behind a mic talking about how fat they are for an entire however long, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm a big Lavelle. I'm a big Lavelle guy.
No, that's real.
Yeah. But like,
wait, let me make sure I'm talking about the right. Yep. I mean, and no, like no salt to Lavelle or nothing like that. Like he's obviously doing his thing. I'm just saying.
But here's the thing, though. It's like not everybody's funny to everybody.
Exactly.
There's a lot of comedians that like I'm not like.
I know my wife don't think John Mulaney is funny. We went to see him at the HEB Center, and she's just sitting there like,
what?
Yeah, but like John's hilarious.
Biggest mistake comedians make, in my opinion, is they try to make the worst advice, I think, in comedy. Make everybody laugh.
That's the worst advice in life.
In life, you're not. It's impossible.
It's not.
It's impossible. You can't do it. You can't.
And you can even make a room full of people laugh, and like this person laughed at this joke, but not this joke, and this person didn't laugh at this joke, but laughed at this joke.
Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Like, when I was starting, I was doing a bunch of this hacky stuff, and I was making people laugh. It was just like, okay. But then I tell a joke that like I spent a lot of time on writing and all this stuff. It makes one person laugh. I love that one person. And I don't give a crap.
Can you please see me at the bar after this, brother? We had a connection. Please. Oh, Lavelle, how you doing, baby? No, I'm just playing.
That's funny, man.
But you're right. It's funny because I don't like you're talking about that. Comedians always talk about like, how's the room? What's the room? Don't ever ask me what the room is like. Like I told you I'm on the spec. Oh yeah, it was on the article. I don't have social skills. I don't know what any of these people are thinking. I don't even know what people are thinking around. I don't know what people are thinking on stage besides when they laugh. I can't. And I think that makes me like a lot more relaxed during comedy shows because at that point it just becomes technique. You know the play.
Just be you. It's the best. You got to be funny, but once again, like we said earlier, people will see right through you. It's unlike anything, man. It is
anything. People can tell when you're doing a character.
Oh man, it's crazy. But once again, I didn't think we'd go on 30 minutes about comedy. Check him out at JBDale72 on Twitter. I'll post it up here again. Got a bunch of people jumping in.
And I will be posting about the comedy and stuff on social media too.
Yeah. We'll set up that one-on-one pass rush drill with you and Van.
You got it, Van. You already won.
Yeah,
it's already done. You won.
JBDale72. All right, buddy. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send you, since you are a dog guy, we do have our dog Bug passed away last year, so we got a new Z baby. So we have these bands right here. It's got Bug on there. I'm going to send you some bands, man.
I'm going to tell you this. Those bands do not fit my wrist. Because like, like that's low key why I got these tattoos on my wrist because the bands are just too small. Not everything was made for a 6'5" dude. But actually, no, you can still send them because I know my daughters would dig them. Wife would dig them.
There you go.
Keep the dog from eating them.
Your daughters who love your music so much.
I love it so much that they hate it.
They listen to the album, no skips. No
No
skips.
skips because we ejected the album. That's why there are no skips.
All right, man. Well, I'll text you a little bit later, and
sure.
we'll talk about Atlanta. And I'm glad to have a fellow. I'm not as good as you are, but it's good to connect with you. And
Hey,
we'll
if you've been to
talk-
open mic, if you've been to 2 open mics, I got love for you, bro. Like, straight up. If you, it's hard because it's hard to go the first time. It's really hard to go back the second time.
right.
So yeah,
But
I got
but yeah,
love
man.
for you.
We'll talk soon when the special comes out. We'll chat about it, and best of luck, Mr. Barksdale. Joseph Barksdale.
Same
All right,
to
buddy.
you. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
All right, peace.
See you up. Joseph Barksdale. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Obviously, a little bit different of a live stream. Always good to hang out. Bro, I hit you with the one-arm bull rush. That's honestly grown to be one of my favorite pass rush moves to watch. Now, unfortunately, Van, I can't do that pass rush move because, well, I didn't have enough power to do that pass rush move. But yeah, big thanks to Joseph Barksdale. Thanks to all the super chats. So now we will talk about current LSU football. There you go. Once again,
that was a good interview, baby.
Yeah, you see, Haley enjoyed it. Huh?
And guess what? I'm going viral on TikTok.
Why are you going viral on
I'm
TikTok?
going viral. I've got almost 15,000 views.
15,000 views on TikTok? For what? More Harry Styles? This has got to stop. This has got to stop. Someone's got to stop this Harry Styles nonsense.
Let me tell you how many I have. Hold on, people. We have 15,000 views exactly. Look at that. 15,000 views. You see that?
No one
More than
cares.
you ever had.
I've never had that many views on TikTok.
Boom! Boom! Because it's Harry Styles, people. Right there.
No one cares.
They care. They know I love the Harry.
We got to talk about some LSU football. Talked about comedy long enough.
Was he a comedian?
Yeah, Joseph Barksdale's a comedian. That's how we got connected.
Sissy mama. Oh. Hold on.
I'll take her. All right, any LSU football
Anybody
related?
want to see my TikTok? Let me know.
No.
They do.
No one cares. No one cares.
I cannot believe that.
Saw Jaden Daniels. Don't believe that JD will struggle. It'll be very hard to have back-to-back bad games. Thus has to stay ready. Yeah. Look, I think this game, and once again, I thought Joseph was going to talk, a lot about music and comedy and non-football related stuff, which is fine. That's, why we had him on. I did drop an hour-long film study on Jaden Daniels. Well, it was 25 minutes. So that specifically brought up a few things about what I think LSU should do, right? I think the first thing is play action. Right now, Jaden Daniels is the lowest play action percentage quarterback in the SEC. And what exactly does that mean? Well, play action doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to complete a pass, but it does make things easier, right? It does give the defense something else to worry about. And the one thing that you learn as you move forward in your football knowledge, every half second matters. Every last bit of leverage matters. And the good thing about a play action fake, especially if you're able to sell one well, it does generate space. It can generate misdirection, and it can get you a few easy completions. Remember, LSU's longest pass completion versus Auburn was an RPO. And as much as we trashed Jake Peets last year, Jake is one of those guys that called good RPOs, and we could get the RPO machine moving. So the truth here is I do think LSU's play calling needs to get better. I do think play action fakes will help this team. I do think the RPO game will help this team. If we do more of it. Our longest completion to a receiver was a 17-yard RPO to Malik Neighbors, okay, against Auburn. So, for me, I feel as if that's something LSU needs to do, okay? Now, once again, fire away those LSU questions. Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan stink. C, can't worry about the fans. You play because you love the game. Here's something I'll say about Russell Wilson, last year, is he did look a little cooked, right? He did look a little old last year. But still. Also, I hate that I just got a text here. I hate that Chris Hilton got hurt. And I hate that he's out for the year. I don't think JD is a bad player by any means. I do think at this point he is holding the offense back. That could be the case, Simper, but it could also be the case that he is the offense, right? Because there is a lot of discombobulation in a lot of different spots right now for LSU. And look, the protection was not great last week. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. AYS wants a hat. This is the only one in existence right now. Victor W is a beast. I haven't learned his last name yet. Oh, hey, he's talking about my views. That's fine. Walker Howard for 3 years, man, please. I think Auburn would have effed up any QB we put out there. Yeah, and look, I'm a big Dim Brock believer after some of the play calls he had versus Mississippi State in the second half of that game. And I think he called a good game versus Florida State. But, I just think there's a lot that he could do different now. I think play action game can obviously be something that LSU could do a better job of. I'm kind of shocked they didn't try Hoss Juke versus Auburn. And it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do on Saturday. Brian Kelly. And look, I am not anti-Jaden by any stretch of the imagination. He does have to throw the football better. He does have to rip it. Patrice O'Neal. Ryan Davis. That's actually a really good one there, Esteban. I love a good Ryan Davis. He's great on Instagram. We're talking about the Instagram comedians that are also good on stage. Ryan Davis is pretty good. Joe Barksdale. I feel a lot more confident if this were a night game. Corey, welcome. Well, the truth is LSU has better results in day games, right? So, yeah. Could be a benefit, Maybe the Tennessee hotels the night before, fire alarm goes off. So there you go. What kind of dog? Maltipoo. That's it, Al. Maltipoo. Oh, a lot of them. And look, the day game sample size is really, really, really small. But the thing is, Corey, is like there's not enough Like if we were, let me put it this way, Corey. If Ohio State was coming to play LSU in Tiger Stadium, that'd be a little bit different because more than half of Ohio State's games are played at noon or 11, right? Tennessee, now I'm not looked up their specific day game data. Does seem like they do play a relatively high amount of day games compared to other SEC teams. But, I just don't think it's such a huge disadvantage for LSU. Because, look, let's say they come out slow versus Tennessee. Well, they've come out slow against everybody. Good one is out. JD has got to get the football down the field. I do agree with that. Skipper loved his honesty. That's the thing, man. I know this last year was completely different than every other one we've ever done, but that's what I want our guests to do, right? Van's interview and Blake's interview, Slade Roy's interview is going to be different than everybody else's interview. I want everybody to be uniquely them. Need some 7 in my life. Yeah, McCann. I don't know. I don't know. So there you go. Got some Nikki Glazer fans in here. Ron White, Tim Hawkins, CK, Costello. Ron White. I was checking on the poll question. Craziest ending of the modern era, 2010 Tennessee over 2002 Kentucky. Okay. Put this in. Go to John Sibley. I love it. Freaking love it. Now, as much as I love Joseph sharing his life story, I love getting to talk some LSU football as well. This is just so great. I'm feeling great. I just thought that interview was just refreshing. And I just enjoy all of you hearing his story. It's great. Do you think that at 4-1, JD is the worst perceived quarterback in the conference despite his good numbers? You know what the truth is? Like, as far as, 4-1, I do think we attribute wins to quarterbacks too much. Now, the truth is you're going to win most of your games because of good quarterback play. And a quarterback does have the biggest influence on the game. But, as far as like quarterback records are concerned, I always, like to look a little bit deeper. I do agree, though, out of any 4-1 quarterback you're going to see, the perception of Jaden is, somewhat rightfully skeptical because of his own coach saying, look, we cannot throw for less than 100 yards and win football games. So the perception is kind of, sort of, also by the players. Now, Jaden Daniels has done a lot for his perception this week, okay? First thing, calling the players only meeting. May not mean anything to you, might not mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but it does show me that players respect him and he does have good leadership traits. The second thing was the teammates of Jaden Daniels taking responsibility. Malik Neighbor saying, hey, we did not run the best routes. Brian Kelly calling out the play calling as well, which is obviously partially on him. So, the perception of Jaden Daniels right now amongst the fans is obviously harsh. But the truth is, his running is so special that it does give you enough to go out there and win games ugly. Now, LSU got very lucky that Mississippi State played an unbelievably awful second half of football in Tiger Stadium. Now, if there was only somebody that told you that would happen, bang, it was me, because Mississippi State back-to-back road games, that was a tough spot for them. And Mississippi State looks really good right now. So then you look at the next game that LSU won versus Auburn versus a Power 5 team. How good is Auburn? Well, defensively, Chris brought this up in our Patreon. Their defense is better. Their defense is better than what you would expect. But truth be told, I think for me, LSU obviously didn't play well. You had one defensive touchdown. Wow. Okay. So someone sent me a text that Ricky Collins got hurt. I know some of you have the game in the background. You guys know I don't have a TV in here. Somebody please give me an update on that. Please. Okay. I know that Woodlawn and Zachary are playing, but obviously that's pretty big. That LSU's quarterback commitment is hurt. Now, obviously, he would have plenty of time to heal, and he's not going to play year one, but you don't like to see that. And as many of you know, I'm a big Ricky fan. And people close to Ricky, Fitzpatrick, and a few others watch the channel, and they're probably all at the game tonight. So, wow. So, Chris and Tony, keep me update on that. Tony the Tiger. Wow, that's. Don't like that. I know it was offensive line last year. But truth be told, back to Jaden Daniels. If you guys can, please keep me posted on that, because I hate that on national freaking TV as well. Hopefully it's not too bad. Anyway, speaking of Jaden's health, he's been banged up this year. Now, injuries are part luckiness, right? I'm lucky to know a few people in the medical field, okay? Injuries is luck. Now, Jaden's durability has been nothing short of incredible. Max Johnson, broken hand. Can't really do anything about that. So, we'll see. If we go under 100 yards passing in the first half, do you make a quarterback change? No. If the game is close, no. If we're getting blown out, yes, you'd have to. You'd have to. But if the game is close and Jaden is doing normal Jaden things and making a few plays with his legs, you got to stick with Jaden. It would be different. It would be very different if Garrett Nussmeier lit the world on fire in this last start versus Auburn. Now, BTJ had about as bad of a drop as you're going to see on a beautifully thrown Nuss ball. Nuss looked amazing versus New Mexico. But you still got to ride out Jaden if the game is close. But if we're down 21-0 and the passing attack has 12 yards, you've got to put somebody else in. Okay? And that's the key. But Jaden's 4-1. He's experienced. You got to kind of ride this out. Now, what do the wide receivers want? What does the offense want? What does the team want? I don't know. Gary Nussmeier's got a lot of fans in that building. Okay? Man, if BK had Max, though, I don't know. I think Jaden would probably still be the guy. Because the same thing, even though Max has the worst play caller in the SEC, I don't know. They're such different quarterbacks. Carl, good to have you. Ortiz, watched all of 2019 again. Burrows was a big runner. He moved more into passing as season progressed. I think versus Tennessee is going to be a breakthrough for him. So Jaden's going to be a breakthrough. Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's got a bad pass defense. At least they had in their 2 Power 5 games up to this point. So if there was ever a matchup for the LSU passing attack to get going, it would be that. There you go. MB8, JJ10, JD5, KB7. Dang, 2010 Tennessee. Totally agree. It is interesting, though, because like normally SEC teams don't have this early of a bye, right? So it is very, very fascinating. And this isn't the only game LSU will play a team before after their bye week. Obviously Tennessee, but Alabama as well. But LSU will have a bye as well. Let's see. There's a few other ones here. Are those the only 2? Yeah, those are the only 2. Don't play Walker. Play Nuss. I don't think people quite understand how bad of a decision that would be. Number one, Nuss has played better. He looks different. He's doing what I've been begging him to do, which is not extend plays. If Jaden stinks, you got to play Nuss. You don't go from Jaden to Walker. Walker could have had the best week in practice ever. So, truth be told, you have to play Nuss if it doesn't work out with Jaden. Okay? That's a good point here from Carvis. What if Tennessee is flat? Okay. So look, The truth here, when it comes to quarterback play and just true freshmen in general, okay, most aren't ready to play. The only time you want a true freshman to play is if they are the best option based on their talent alone, right? So in this last class, I had 3 true freshmen graded as guys I thought that they were bona fide year one guys. It's Emory Jones, Will Campbell, and Harold Perkins. Okay. Mason Taylor was someone that I didn't. I did like him a lot coming out, but he is playing a lot, not just because he is talented, which he is, but he's also playing out of necessity. We don't have any other tight ends, right? Cole Taylor is Cole Taylor, and the other 2 are blocking tight ends primarily. You know, you don't want true freshmen to play unless they are the best options, right? I think that's the most blatant, obvious one. I don't think it's going to fix all the problems. I think it will fix a lot. I do. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Because quarterbacks are different. Anytime you say anything about any football player, you have to apply it to quarterbacks, and then you have to apply it to everybody else. It's just how it is, right? A wide receiver, in terms of how they're viewed, how they're treated, has more in common with a defensive lineman than they do a quarterback. I promise you, right? It's a completely different thing. All the way down to the jerseys that they wear at practice. Everything about a quarterback is different. So if you think Walker is the best quarterback right now, I think there is extra variables that you have to consider when it comes to playing a true freshman quarterback. I don't think he's absolutely the best option either. Never said Kelly would get another, quote, dual threat quarterback transfer, and Jaden is done. I don't know what the quotes mean. But Jaden's a good transfer quarterback. We're acting like Jaden is just bad. He's not bad. He's not bad. He might not be phenomenal. But let me ask you this. How many great quarterbacks are out there? How many great quarterbacks are there in the SEC? Well, this year there's actually quite a few, a higher number, but I wouldn't say half the quarterbacks in the SEC are good. Right? Bryce Young's phenomenal. KJ Jefferson's pretty good. And then Hooker's pretty good. Will Levis looks fine. Jackson Dart looks fine. Jaden's looked fine. Now, was his worst game this past week? Yeah. Does he look the best as a thrower? No. He's still good. You're telling me that Jaden has not been a positive? Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, as we discussed throughout this, as I did a 30-minute video earlier today, yeah, the passing numbers aren't great. And a lot of that's on him. Still kept us in the game. He's still going to give you some runs that will turn out to be very productive plays. Second in the entire SEC in rushing EPA. This idea that he's bad is nonsensical, honestly. It's not based in anything, really. Is he a bad thrower? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, you can have a discussion about that. But the idea that bringing in a transfer quarterback with 3 years of starters experience with an offensive line that was, in his only loss, quite frankly, just brutal. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. It's not spectacular. I'm not satisfied by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll take it. Let's go to Branson Cat here, member of the PHL T-shirt club. But Jaden is not good. When you have the best wide receiver core and you can't use him because of the quarterback, he's not good, but better other options than him. All right, Tony, we'll see you on Saturday for all the lives. Yes and no, man. I'll tell you this, Branson, and I share once again. I know it's tough to release a 30-minute film study, and we have the lives the same night. I saved it a day because I wanted to talk to a few coaches, and as you guys would see, sometimes I share the text conversations I have with coaches about this. And I'm going to be honest with you, Branson and Amakat and whoever else. There are some coaches who do not like Jaden at all. Okay. And there's one in particular that is unloaded on Jaden Daniels to me. And I disagreed with them, but he just didn't like him because he likes his offenses to stay on schedule. And look, a lot of play callers get frustrated when the play's not run the way it should be run. And there were opportunities for Jaden to let it rip versus Auburn. I do think Mike called a very strange game versus Auburn. And I do think, especially the Auburn game, okay, I highly recommend you go back to the Malik Neighbors interview from earlier this week. The wide receivers for LSU did not play really well. They just didn't. And it wasn't just the drops. It was the separation. But I also don't think we're running the best concepts either. As a play caller, I would do a lot of things different than Denbrock. I like Denbrock as a play caller. I just would simplify a lot, right? When I actually looked at the total play action percentage numbers, I was kind of shocked by it. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many different factors, but most of it does fall on the quarterback. I just disagree that, people say Jaden's bad. And I'm not just saying that because he's LSU's quarterback. LSU's had bad quarterbacks. Okay, they've had bad quarterbacks. I just don't think Jaden's bad. Now, he could, against Tennessee, lay another egg like he did against Auburn. And then, guess what? All the naysayers are right. The line play is good enough. I do agree with this. The line play is good enough. Against Auburn, though, that was your toughest opponent, or that was your toughest thing. Now, goes back to Denbrock, though. Auburn was getting a good fire off the football. So I would have done some hard counts. I would have done some things differently to slow them down. I would have done some screens. I would have done more play action. Obviously, the center of our whole video earlier is play action. So, we'll see. But I cannot say it enough. Okay. The wide receivers for LSU did not have a good game versus Auburn. There's a lot of different reasons as to why. Some of it is scheme. Some of it is just them not getting their footing. They slipped a lot. They really did. Okay. The only position group for LSU that played above where they had played all year was a running back position. Okay. The John Emery fumble was bad. Wasn't mostly his fault. He doesn't fumble the ball if our offensive linemen don't run into each other. He just doesn't fumble that ball there. He did drop a pass, and then he had the hurdle. Okay. Not the hurdle on the catch, but you guys know the play on the goal line. But he didn't fumble it, so no big deal, right? The running backs for LSU played really well, and that was their best game of the year. It's that. It's honestly a lot of that. And look, it's tough. It's tough to really take in everything if you don't have the all 22 angle. It just is. But yeah. And some of this is true as well. Like, as wide receivers, you can get discouraged if you're not actually getting the football. Still doesn't mean you shouldn't run hard. You know, it would be one thing if, like, for me, I don't think Jaden doesn't throw the football because he feels like he could do everything himself. And he's doing it because he's arrogant. He's like, and he's ball hogging like Allen Iverson, if you will, or whoever. No, I just think he doesn't throw the football because he's just gun shy. A lot of quarterbacks are. Max was gun shy last year. The difference was he didn't run 4.4. So, yeah. This was the first time where BK really told Jaden, hey, we need you to rip it. And he doesn't turn the football over. And that's part of what's holding him back because he has to see the wide receivers wide open for him to rip it. There he is. You want to know a man that works nonstop, but he's a patron and his whole family has PHL shirts? It's this man right here. And William, I've been meaning to ask you, it's okay if I can, I won't do it tonight. If I could put your family's photo up there, it is kind of cool to see the whole fam rocking the PHL brand. I think you have either 2 or 3 shirts, and you have some other shirts that I've sent you. Got a new patron, Sherry Berry. I want to shout out my friend Sherry. She's actually going to the game. Pretty cool. Man, dude, I'm getting so many texts that Russell Wilson is cooked. I love that. Russ is cooked. I like Russ. But at times last year, he did look like he lost a step. So here's a stat right here from Roger Sherman at The Ringer. Amazon paid $13 billion over 11 years for Thursday Night Football. That's $1.8 billion per year. And there are 15 Thursday Night Football games per year. Long story short, they paid about $78 million to broadcast the Colts Broncos game tonight. $78 million. $78 million. Semper they are 40. It's down here, but you got my information. So shoot me a message. And obviously, for you, I'll send you something a little extra. Because I know you're a big Walker Howard fan. Jacob Hester just tweeted out that this is the 15-year anniversary today, the 15-year anniversary of LSU beating Florida in 2007. 15 years. Chad Johnson. Why is Chad Johnson going to the LSU game? Jackson, thank you for the super chat. Chad Johnson says he wants to, Chad Ochocinco, any track athletes on LSU campus that want to race tomorrow, please see me. I love that. JD makes plays when he's not thinking. See the 99-yard drive against Florida State. Jenkins was his fourth read on the TD. I love it. And that had been his only throw 9 or more yards over the middle of the field or on the inside hashes all year. I agree, Jackson. That was really elite quarterback play because he could have fit that ball into Kayshawn, but it would have been tight to work backside. And the route by Jure, oh my God, that is the nastiest route I've ever seen an LSU Tiger make with the game on the line. I'm serious. That was the nastiest route I've ever seen in a crunch time scenario. It was that beautiful. That's crazy. Jackson, great minds think alike. By the way, I wanted to show you this. I should have brought this up to you. Jackson says he's been to Anfield twice. I actually got this from a craftsman in London. He made it. Look at this. Michael B's back. Oh, some bad news. Sorry about that. Been out of the loop for a bit. And again, this week, not feeling great, but got great news. Yesterday, the nodules in my dad's chest weren't cancer, but a lung infection. Just been taking care of him. Michael B, take care of the fam. Hadn't missed a whole lot. We had a great, different conversation tonight with Joseph Barksdale. And we're glad you're here now. We're going to hang out. That's obviously great. There's a lot of people out there praying and thinking about you. And there, something else, I'm just saying in the Discord, there's a lot of people, you know, like Chris and Skipper and Marcus in particular. I don't think Marcus is in here now. That we're checking in on you. And that's what we're here for, man. That's it. We're a big old, big old PHL fam. You know, when Barksdale was talking about some of the serious stuff, we're like, hey, it's life. It's part of it. I'm not just going to say, hey, let's talk about football. You know what I'm saying? That's good. We're 99% of the time going to talk about LSU football. Tonight's been a little bit different, obviously. But that's why we're here, man. We're here for you, Michael B. You're my guy. And you are the owner of some of my favorite Justin Jefferson cards. But you're a big Justin Jefferson fan. So I was happy to do that. Liverpool is a great city. And I got to go back. Gotta go. I can't wait. I think about it all the time. Not gonna get to go this next year, but the next year I'm definitely going back. Carvis has your back. Jared, there you go, man. Some things are more important than football, you know? We want to talk about the T-Bob video. It was great. If y'all were to leave my stream right now to go watch the T-Bob video, I would get it. Huh? It really is great. Look, you know, I'm really happy for him. You know, I say it every time someone brings him up. He's the most talented person I've ever worked with, ever in my life. It does suck. I got to host a cancer benefit this past Saturday, and it was a cancer benefit. It was a little bit different because it was like, you know, they were honoring someone that I had just lost to cancer like a few months ago, my running coach. I've talked about her some on here, and yeah, you know, cancer sucks, but we're glad, Michael B, you got a great diagnosis, man. BHL fan. I'm telling you, Jackson, me and you were gonna go to the Glebe, man. The Glebe. But I wanna actually spend more time in Liverpool next time I go. It was good, Branson. It was really, really good. But T-Bob's just so like insanely talented. I'm serious. Like, he's funny, he's personable. He's just great. And actually, he retweeted me today because of a joke that we used to have, and it actually went around not a lot. T-Bob video is the greatest piece of content from LSU athletics since, yeah, that's why, yeah. They've had some other really good ones. I mean, there's just so many. So yeah, I want to share this with you. I want to check in on the poll question that I had earlier today. I'm going to put the poll question up here. All right. So T-Bob and I used to get on when we did a podcast together. We always used to have this debate. Okay. So I'll show it to you right now. Should have asked T-Bob to come on with us with Barksdale. Okay. So I got 27 likes. That's a lot for me. I'm horrible at Twitter. In honor of T-Bob 53's return to Tiger Stadium, Tennessee's return to Tiger Stadium, he believes a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the premium biscuit over the chicken biscuit. Is the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit better than I love a good chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit. Then again, I'm fat. I'm chubby. I love the chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit. I'm not even the hugest Chick-fil-A fan. They're besting the chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit. Apparently, Whataburger can throw down on some chicken biscuits. But a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, man. bacon, egg, and cheese. Bacon, egg, and cheese is just I can't mess with anybody that bacon, eggs, and cheese is because it's not enough meat, and the bacon crumples, and it's just I would need like a ton of bacon on there. But dude, this sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, I made love to this thing. It was that good, right? Let's go to hit stick here. So T-Bob is a big sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. And part of it, you see hashtag SEC biscuit. There you go. Unsub. I won't lie, if we can make it out of the next 3 weeks undefeated, I don't care what anybody says. The spread against Bama shouldn't be any more than 4 points at the most. It obviously depends on Bama's health, and there's a lot of different factors to when that game comes around. But, you know, we'll see. I would guess Bama would probably be no less than 7 or 8 points. It just depends on how good both the teams look over the next few weekends. What was the final line on this game? It's not showing up in my app. Of the Broncos game. Apparently, I'm not missing much. Was it 3.5? Because I love the Colts. I thought about actually wagering that. Mm. Could someone send me the line? I couldn't. It's not. Let me see. Maybe I'll show here on ESPN. Denver -3. That's crazy. Oh, that's a good question. What's up, Chance? I've been missing you, man. I was looking at your email from earlier. The Cheryl Swoops thing. As a president of the JD5 fan club, Legacy, I appreciate you. Let me know a little bit more about Jaden. What's the order on the hat orders? I'm among the first for it, then lost my debit card. Is it a flex fit? So it is kind of like this flex fit stuff. But I'll be honest with you. Hats are like totally different. Like, so someone made the hat for me and I love the hat, but the production and the shipping of hats are totally different than shirts. So before I order just a bunch of hats, I want to make sure I know how to properly ship these things because I don't want a gazillion hats to come to our house and not have space for it, not have everything set up. So as you guys know, I'll be methodical with merch to make sure everything is done right. So yeah, I'm still going through this process. I didn't think it would, be this tough, but it's tough, and it's not. A lot of it is just stuff out of my control right now. Some of it is honestly just making sure I know what I'm doing. Huh? 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 Let's go. Next time in BR, chicken biscuits on LA Mom. Everybody know. She's already said, hey, I've never had it. Anybody from PHL that want to go to Whataburger on what is it, Segan? We're going. Chicken biscuits on LA Mom. Someone compared him to Spurrier. Wow. Uh-oh. I love how William and Aaron, I see both of them joining the same time. The last live stream, people destroying William for the Pigeon Forge thing. That pissed me off. William, if you love Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, enjoy it. Freaking enjoy it. Okay? The next PHL meetup should be in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I don't know. The next PHL meetup is probably going to be in Baton Rouge. Like, I kind of want to do one for the Bama game. I kind of want to do one for the Ole Miss game. I'm still trying to figure that out. Right now, I'll be in Chicago next weekend. Should be pretty fun. So I will be doing I don't know if we have any PHLers in Chicago. I don't think we do. So I'm excited about Chi-Town. I hadn't been to Chi-Town in, man, I don't know. I think 2011, I think 10 years ago. We'll go to North Carolina. I gotta try the North Carolina barbecue. So Haley and I, we have a friend. Shout out to Adair. She lives. We met her in London, and she lives in Raleigh. She's telling us about that vinegar-based barbecue y'all got. Let's see. I can pull it up here. Pull up the game. Russell Wilson's cooked. Dang, Jackson, you're a world traveler. Send me some Rex, man, on Instagram. Power Hour LSU. Are you in the Bay Area? I'm down. I've never been to San Fran. Honestly. Oh, we're about to get overtime here. If we get a field goal make. William is growing on me. William is growing on me. I freaking love it. One of the most underrated phrase in American lexicon is cut up. I freaking I love that phrase so freaking much. I love it so much. I freaking love it so much. Oh, Snake. I love it so much. I love it so much. That is so funny. They made the field goal? Okay. Oh, did they miss it? Oh, no, they made it. Okay. It took a while to put the score up there. I freaking love it. Go out there. Might have me an IPA or two and cut up. I love it. I freaking love it. Oh, what kind of phrase is this? I have never caught a hoot. What the heck is that, Ellie Mom? What the heck is that? Caught a hoot. If you don't explain it, I'm kicking you out of the Patreon. I'm kicking you out of the Discord. Caught a hoot. I hate if there was anything in this world, beverage wise, I hate anything. It's an IPA. Now, William, when we go get some barbecue in North Carolina, I better not have IPAs waiting on me. My beer has got to be fruity. It cannot be diesel fluid. It cannot be. I don't want to drink oil. I want to enjoy myself. Oh man, it means you're cracking up. All right, Michael B. We'll talk to you in the Discord, man. Well, we gotta get some BBQ, man. I gotta meet the whole fam. That sucks if you have Colts. That sucks if you have Colts 3.5, because you already know what's going to happen. Matt Ryan is going to throw a pick six to a defensive end, and the Broncos will cover. Brant, all you got to do is join the Joey tier on Patreon. Join the Joey tier. Not only you get the Discord, okay? You guys know Chris is one of our sharpest viewers. Skipper is one of our sharpest viewers. Jared is one of our sharpest viewers. A lot of our very smart PHLers are in there. Jared. I hope he's still in here. But yeah, everybody in there smart, and we have great discussions about LSU football. And you get all the extra bonus film studies, including my advanced breakdown of the Tennessee defense. Country boy from the city of Eunice. What LSU players from Eunice? Is it Daryl Simon? Is that who that is? I'm trying to think which all LSU players have come from Eunice. There you go. Okay. Daryl Simon. Branson, I'll hit you up on Instagram. We can work something out. Okay, Stacy, the over-under is actually quite simple. So if a point spread or if a game has an over-under of 47, okay, or 47 and a half, if you will. If the over-under is 47 and a half and the final score of a game is 25 to, or let's just say 24 to 21, okay, you add those two numbers together, and that will tell you if the game went over the total or under the total. So every but every Vegas point spread should have an over-under near it, right? So if the final score is 24 to 21 and the over-under was 47 and a half, 24 plus 21 is 45. So the game went under the total. But if the final score was 28 to 21 and the over-under was set at 47 and a half, the over would have fit. Okay? So that's essentially how it works. Now, there's also first quarter, halftime, point totals, and point spreads, which is obviously different. But that's what the over-under stuff means. Okay? And I don't think that that's really explained that well just in general. It can be very confusing because you see that number, you're like, 53? What is 50? That's such a random number. LSU on a bonfire on Saturday nights. There you go, William. That's what we're doing in Pigeon Forge, baby. Let's go. Pierce, I can't help you with that. I've seen some. I can't help you with that. Soccer is also done a little bit differently, but it's also done where it's easier to calculate the hold percentage. Now, that is a whole different story, hold percentage. If you're a sports betting expert, you know what hold percentage means, okay? What's our name on Patreon? It's Power Hour LSU on Patreon. So if you click the link, like I'll share right here. Here's what I'm gonna do, Branson. I'm gonna get you since we're friends on Instagram, I'm gonna get you set up after this live stream is over. I got Jackson Carney wanting to send me a message. That's cool. Someone said Sierra should give Future another chance. Huh? That's wild. JT Daniels? Oh, so the Colts got the first possession. Type Y for yes, type in for no if you're watching this. Type in for no if you're not watching this. Paris Campbell? Okay. Love it. Jay Hill just sent me a message of one of the Colts players hitting the gritty. Let's go. DeForest Buckner. I've always thought he was so good. I love it. Huh? They don't even have Jonathan Taylor tonight. Kayshawn's a pro Fortnite guy. I like it. Why are you saying JT Daniels? I'm telling you, I wish Jaden Daniels had Jalen Daniels throwing ability. That kid for Kansas can freaking play. Goodness. Oh, Matt Ryan, throw the ball. Was the post open? Or the corner route open right there? Are they going to kick a long field goal here? No, they're not going to blow him out. No. Dang, that kicker is good. It would have been good from 66. So good. If you have a 3.5 ticket, it cleared. I don't think LSU's. No, I don't think so. Tennessee's a really good team. Their offense is really good. I picked them to win the East. We'll see what happens. William joined the Patreon. What's up, Pigeon Forge? Pigeon Forge. William, when I get you in the Discord, okay, I don't know if you have Discord or a username. Please make your username Pigeon Forge, because there are a bunch of Williams in our Discord. Actually, let me see. There's only one. Online church. I did it last live stream. So I get this message a lot from my friends, right? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I look like Russell Wilson. I swear, my buddy Kevin just texted me a minute ago. He just sent me a text. You ain't doing good since You ain't doing good since you went to the Broncos, big dog. That's crazy. When I went to Sirius XM, somebody that worked there said that as well. Unless I'm drinking IPAs. I've been told I look like everybody. Oh, he's wide open. Oh, my God. If Russ pulls this out. Oh, wait. Hold on. No, the Colts cover is not a lock because they could score a field goal here. Branson Cat joined the Patreon. That's good. But they could score a field goal here and tied, and then there'll be a walk-off touchdown. Oh, don't run it when you've had success throwing on first. Why do teams do that? Keep throwing it. Let's see. Remember when LSU played Melvin Gordon? And Melvin Gordon was destroying us, and they quit giving him the ball in the second half. And I was like, what are you doing, Wisconsin? No! Don't run on 3rd and 2? Oh, my God. What is Hackett doing? You got to go for it now. You can't go for it. Oh, my God, the ending of this game. No, don't call timeout. Cowards. I look like Jordan Peele playing Obama. You know what's funny? I've shared this before on here. There is a Twitter account. I say Twitter. There's an Instagram account of somebody, I won't say who, putting my head, like they said it looked like Obama. There's an Instagram account where there's photos of me and there's a similar photo of Barack Obama. Like it's nuts. I don't see that one at all. But Jordan Peele playing Obama mixed with Russell Wilson. I've been every light-skinned celebrity you could think of. I've been called them. It's a light-skinned life. 4th and 1 here. Oh, they're spreading them out. Oh, bottom of the screen. That's where they're going to go. Colts call a timeout. Broncos called a timeout. Interesting. Branson's going to wear a PHL shirt to the game. So, thinking about doing this here. I look like Zendaya. Ha ha ha. You know what's funny? Like, it's weird. There was someone at the game, so I don't have a ton of shirts out there, but a lot of people have bought, my shirts. But someone was at the game, and it was a lady who was wearing my shirt, and I don't ever remember mailing her a shirt. I don't. But it was cool. Our shirts are, growing. I like that. I have personally delivered every single shirt or mailed every single shirt. That'd be kind of weird if I personally delivered it. Why? Oh my God, the Broncos deserve to lose this game. Oh man. Stephon Gilmore, South Carolina legend. What a Hall of Famer. That's crazy. So what did they try to do? Oh, he had inside leverage. They went back to that matchup. That's a crazy good play. Look at Gilmore. That's crazy. I mean, God bless. You're not going to see a better corner make it a play like that. Wild. Gotta get those long sleeve shirts made, man. You sound like my voice sounds like Obama. Oh man. PHL country. Let's ride. PA. Would you rather have Jaden Daniels or Russell Wilson? That's how the chat sounded like tonight. Huh? Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride to 9 points. Well, yeah, I think Patrick Peterson is better. But how many corners have been better than Stephon Gilmore this past decade? Honestly, Jalen Ramsey, and Patrick Peterson. Now, I'm biased towards Patrick Peterson. What's crazy is like Denver actually did everything right. Okay. They did what you have to do. You trade for the franchise QB. So, they signed Cortland Sutton. Tim Patrick got hurt before the year began. They have Jerry Jeudy. So they put a lot of weapons. You lose Javonte Williams. That sucks. You also lost your left tackle tonight. You drafted what looks to be, honestly, Patrick Surtain could already be up there as one of the best corners. It's just kind of crazy though. Like the more you look at like the Jamar Chase stuff, like how great Jamar Chase actually is. Like Jamar Chase cooked AJ Terrell, Trevon Diggs. A lot of these first round corners. It's nuts. It really is nuts. Pat Surtain was also on that defense. Yeah, Richard Sherman, probably earlier in the decade, but really Gilmore, man. Gilmore's good, dude. He's good. So Anzalone. Yeah, so Brian Kelly talked about it, tonight in the press conference that he did. Like the sports medicine is just so incredible now. The 3D printed cast, like they he said it like fits like a glove now. Like it's so comfortable. Like how good the sports medicine is now. It's just nuts. So he should be ready to go, Mike. That's the most important thing. But it is kind of, I do like that. I love all the little details you bring up. I think that's pretty cool. Type Y for yes, type in for no. The offensive line will play better with Garrett Dellinger back in the lineup. It did, William. It did. Most definitely did. Love it. All right, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Anzalone just joined, so you know it's always a party when Mikey A is in the building. Optimistic, yes. Not much depth, true. Agree with the online church. $300+ passing. You heard the man. Heard the man right there. I do make sure you get good cards. I do. So yeah, there you go. And look, they're not cards that like you're gonna be able to flip on eBay for like $1,000 or anything like that. But I do give you like stuff that a lot of stuff that I personally rip or buy. So yeah, there you go. Giving out a bunch of cards this week. Gave out a Mike Jones autograph earlier this week. In a perfect world, yes. I just think Tennessee's really good. So like at this point, I do think Tennessee wins on Saturday. But you know, as you look deeper into these things, you know, Tennessee's defense has a lot of questions. It has a lot of questions. Yeah, so Branson actually got a player worn Leonard Fournette card with his t-shirt buy. I knew he was a big Fournette fan, so there you go. Yeah, well, there's Zach. You never sent me your address, Zach. I'm ready to send you this card. I got so many I'm sending out. So this Zach's an LSU basketball collector. So he's getting this dual Jordan Mickey, Jarrell Martin. But I learned that Zach really is a pretty nice basketball collector. I love it. Freaking love it. It was crazy. Like I was looking into the stuff like these 1986 like sealed wax boxes. Like Drake opened like 6 of them recently. The boxes are what, like $100K each, just depending on the market. They used to just give them out in the 80s. They used to just give these boxes out because nobody liked basketball cards. It was only baseball. And I remember when my dad was a big basketball card collector and we would go to the National like a decade ago, it would just be baseball collectors still. There would still be some basketball collectors, but now basketball cards are so big. Football cards are so big. It's crazy. F1 is getting big. Still jealous. So William got an extra shirt because William's a big time supporter. I actually sent him one of my favorite Burrow shirts, and he deserved it. William's been rocking with me for I think well over a year now, and he's a big Chad Jones fan. So I've sent him a bunch of my Chad Jones stuff. William loves Chad Jones more than any other LSU player. So. Oh, nice. So Zach's getting. Oh man. So now Zach's getting a shirt, but he's actually a card collector. So I got to send him some really, really good stuff. I'm trying to think. Is there any basketball card I could send you that you wouldn't? I don't know. I just find it cool that I know a Skylar Mays collector. I just love Anzalone's comments. It's funny. One of my buddies' last name is Anzalone, but he pronounces it Anzalone. Any stats on offensive line ratings playing with an in? None. But a lot of LSU offensive linemen have played through injury. You know what? That was kind of crazy. I just totally forgot about this. So T-Bob's in the news. Obviously, Joseph Barksdale was on our channel. But Will Blackwell's made a lot of interviews this week. And what was interesting is someone mentioned a minute ago, James Stampley's also from Eunice. That's crazy. But I forgot that Will Blackwell, before his All-American 2011 year, was the starter at guard. And in 2010, his knee got shredded on the first play of the game versus North Carolina. Towards ACL. I think that's what it was. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy how many I'm just trying to think of how many season-ending injuries have happened in the first or second game of the year at LSU. So Will Blackwell, and then obviously Mason Smith this year. Just trying to think of any others. I don't know if it's like a trend or anything, but injuries are just so bad luck. We're still trying to get him on the channel. We had a date set, but we had to push back. So this off season, I'm going to try and get him back on. So yeah. Cade York's a beast. Walk the Golden Gate Bridge. That'd be fun. Branson says that Tennessee winning the East prediction looking half decent after Georgia against Mizzou. Yeah. Can Tennessee? I don't know. It's interesting. I just don't think is much as I like that prediction, there's still a big piece of me that believes it because I think Hendon Hooker really is that good. I don't know. I just don't know if they have enough defense. It's going to be interesting to see their defense on Saturday. So there you go. Now, here's what we're going to do. I am going to sign off now. I will be chatting in the Discord for a little bit. I am very tired. I worked on that Jaden Daniels film study for a pretty long time tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've not seen it, guess what? You get to watch it right now. Bang. Okay. Black goatee. I got to see the poll. I do have to see the poll. Sausage biscuit destroyed the breakfast biscuit. So if you want to see our deep breakdown, I'll be chatting in the Patreon. We're going to get our new patron. Shout out to William. Shout out to Branson Cat. Shout out to all our super chatters this evening. You know who you are. Van, Jared, John Sibley, obviously Jordan Early, William. There's so many of you. If I missed a few, I'm sorry. My brain really is fried. I just felt like I just got like super tired. So we'll see ya. I might do a video tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video or not tomorrow. Might take the day off and just do some business stuff. But we'll see. It is Power Hour LSU. Bomb. Appreciate Joseph Barksdale joining us. It's one of definitely our most interesting conversation. Really appreciate him. And tonight, we're doing steak quesadillas. Let's go. Let's go.